So even you said this, defcamp. The orc racial, the hardiness,
Yeah.
the stun resistance,
Yes.
it's not 25%.
It's more,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's
It's
more
more,
than that,
buddy.
yeah.
Hit him, Malderon.
It's more.
It increases whatever the stun resistance is. So say it's 1, it increases that by 25%.
Right.
So I just want to make that clear. A lot of people were talking about it during the stream, and I get stuff wrong all the time. I just want to make sure people know it's not a quarter of the time you get a stun resist. It's way less than that. Way less than that.
Wait, what?
Less or more, you mean?
Look at the tooltip.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say your stun resistance is 10.
It's 15. That's the baseline. 15's baseline.
Okay, 15.
Yeah.
What's 25% of 15?
Wait. No way. Is that true?
Yes, look at the tooltip.
Okay, let me look at the tooltip.
So your stun resistance will only be 18.75.
Hardiness racial orc. Hold on. Let me see here. Duration. No, this is some retail garbanzo bean salad right here. Let me see.
Garbanzo beans.
Let me see here. Hardiness, right? Hardiness.
Making me hardiness.
Yeah, 18.75.
All right, I got it. Chance to resist stun effects increased by an additional 25% chance. So 25%. You have a baseline chance to resist stun effects of 15%.
By 15. 15 times 0.25 is 3.75. It's 18.75%.
No, dude, don't say that, dude.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone gets this wrong.
No, how do you know? How do you know,
Yeah.
Malderon?
I thought it was more than 20.
How do I know? Because read the tooltip.
No, dude, this is some.
No. Think about it though. Read it again. So
don't shatter my dreams, man.
It increases whatever your stun resistance is, which Cargo says is 15.
Right.
It increases it by 25%. What is 25% of 15?
Nah.
3.75.
Nah, no, dude. No way.
Okay,
man.
just.
No way, man.
Don't doubt the doc, says Chimley.
Let's see. What do you guys think, chat? Is that true?
I'm just reading the tooltip. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, so it kind of almost equals out. Okay, I see why people. Why
it's not 25. It's less than 25. It's 18.75.
Nah.
Yeah. That's significantly different.
I thought it was what Philip C4 said. Or is it 15 plus the 25?
I thought it was additive. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought it was that.
Wow, that's huge. Then that's.
Well, 15 isn't really 15% though, is it?
What Cargo said, the value of 15. Whatever way you spin it, 15% or 15, 25% of 15% is 3.75%.
It's still very strong.
No, I think it's additive, bro.
But it's not 25.
Because you get it at the baseline. Like, that's not a buff or anything. Like, you spawn with that.
It says, the tooltip says increases stun resistance by 25%. It doesn't say, I don't know, man.
This is what I want the next blue post to address. Blizzard, if there's any representatives watching this right now, can you please clarify?
You gotta remember, Blizzard does stuff like this, like just like the wording for, increases, like for spell power. You have up to 25 or up to 32, so you can never really go by what it says in the tooltip.
Jimmo Van Barlow says exactly. There's no way orcs have a 40% stun resistance.
I thought they could have 50%.
If you're saying it's additive, it's like 50%. It's 40%.
Well, no, if you're an orc warrior, you can get the additional stun resistance, and I thought that would be like, people were saying that's 50% stun resistance.
That's crazy. That's way too high.
So the warrior talent in the Prat tree is Iron Will, right? Increases your chance to resist stun and charm effects by an additional 3% per point. So 5 points, that's 15%. Plus the 15% base would be 30. Plus the orc ratio would be 55. No way? You think that's not possible?
No, that's too high.
Yeah, it's way too high. So yeah, Ruben Ninja, it's 25% of your current stun resistance. Correct. That's exactly how I'm reading it.
Okay. We gotta test this, I guess. But so, how much would it be if you had this?
It's very easy to test.
Okay, so you had. Let's say you get 15% additional from Iron Will, Malderon.
What's Iron Will? Sorry, I'm a little lost here.
The orc talent. So 5 points.
Hardiness?
No. You mean the warrior talent?
The warrior talent. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
The warrior talent is called Iron Will. It's a tier 2 talent in the protection tree.
Yep.
5 points increases stun and charm resistance to stun and charm effects by an additional 3% per point. 5 points, 15% plus the baseline 15%.
So say you're an orc, right? So it's 15 times 0.25.
Well, are you
plus 3?
So you're saying that this also doesn't work in that way? It's only going off of your 15% baseline resistance.
It goes off. So in an orc, you have 18.75% because of your racial, right?
Okay.
And what's the percentage for the talent?
15
times 0.15. So that's just in another additional 3%, 2.81%.
So what are we at?
We're at about 20-ish, 21-ish.
This is blowing my mind.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, everyone agrees with you, Malderon.
Trust me, Malderon is right. Been playing Orc Rogue for 14 years. Oh my god, this is crazy.
So honestly, that makes me, when I think about what I want to do for my shaman, I mean, because honestly, like, I like the idea, my playstyle. I like the idea of having that 2-minute stun every 2 minutes. You know what I mean? AOE stun every 2 minutes. Tarn for me, like, or getting, saying 1 out of 5 times being able to get out of stun. If I'm playing Elemental, I think for me, like, Tarn, it just makes that stronger for me.
Okay, so Svarti had a good point. Thank you, Svarti, for pointing this out. He says, reread the warrior talent again. It says, this hardiness talent, or Iron Will, it says buy an additional 3% per point. What does that say?
3% per point for 15%.
Buy
Still 50% of X.
Okay, so increases your chance to resist stun and charm effects by an additional 15%. Why would they put the word additional in there if it was just what you were saying?
So you're saying by that math you can have 55% stun resist.
That's no way.
That's
Absolutely
insane.
not.
Well, what I'm saying is, why is the word additional here in this town? Maybe I should pull it up on the stream, dude. Maybe I should.
Dude, you gotta realize there's a lot of wording in Vanilla WoW. Like we said,
Their tooltips suck so bad.
like when it says increases your healing up to 43, that's not true.
That's
It's
not
just
true.
43.
It's 43. The spell coefficient changes it.
That's what it means by the spell coefficient, because certain spells, so if you're a druid and you have a 3.5 healing touch, you're getting 100% of that 43 healing. But if you're a priest,
There's no
using
way
Flash
something in
Shield-
game could provide someone 55% stun
You don't
resistance.
think so?
That's just
No.
insane.
I mean,
It's insane.
So look at
it's
it.
game
Right
breaking.
here. It's right here. Let me go right here. Game breaking. You think this is game breaking? Iron Will increases your chance to resist stun and charm effects by an additional 15%. Why would they put additional in there?
Oh, let me look at the priest talent. Let me look at the priest talent, because let me look how that's worded.
Because 50% of X is still additional.
Let me look at hardiness.
You're still
Increases
adding
your
things
chance
here.
to resist.
Why wouldn't you
stun.
just say by 15%?
Because additional is the same thing as by 50.
But why put additional in there?
No.
It's the
That's
same
what-
language. It's the same language. There's no difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying.
Okay, you're kind of right. So hardiness says the same thing, though. Hardiness also says by an additional 25%.
Yeah, if you're adding, you're still adding, right? You're adding a percentage.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, Unbreakable
you might be
Will
right
is
here,
same
man.
talent for Priest. We have the same talent. Increases your chance to resist stun, fear, and silence effects by an additional 15%. It's additional of what you have. Additional
Correct.
of what you have.
50%
yeah.
of what you have plus that is that, right? It's X times 0.15 plus X. That's the formula.
Chauncey, good. Yeah, it's definitely a Kevin Jordan question. We can ask Kevin.
Yeah.
Damn.
I already talked to him, but if anyone else will get to talk to him.
Oh, this is a big deal, though. I have to say.
It's
kind of a
not
big
really,
deal.
because it's still pretty good. It's still good.
So what does it end up being? Like 20%? Malderon said all in, even with this
Around
warrior
About
talent?
21%.
Even
Yeah,
if
about
you're
21%.
orc, even if you're warrior and you get this talent,
and you're an orc, yes.
it's only 20%.
Yep.
Man, that
Yep.
seems night and day between the 50% that I thought it was at.
It is. It's significantly
it's-
different.
yeah.
It's a huge difference.
But could you imagine being able to resist every other stun?
That sounds like the good life. That sounds like rogues gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, that's a little too.
Too much?
I think 20% is very fair.
Is that why
It
people
still
have said
makes-
on private servers that the orc racial is busted? You've
Because
heard
they're
that before,
probably
right?
putting it to 25%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Possible.
People were saying on private servers for the longest time, if you guys remember, people were saying that the orc stun thing seems way higher than it should be. I have heard
Or
that.
they're adding it to the 15 and making it 40.
That's
which
what I
is
think
insane.
they're doing, bro. All right,
You know
Blizzard
what, though?
changes.
Honestly,
we need changes so we can never get stunned by a rogue ever again.
Even if I'm a rogue, it still makes me double think who I'm going to attack first. If I see an orc shaman versus a troll shaman, I'm going after that troll shaman first.
18.75% isn't shabby.
It's not.
I mean,
No.
there's nothing to write home to mom about and be like, Mom, I
Yeah,
got
yeah, it
18%
is.
chance to resist stun.
Yeah, it's
That's a
18.75.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
no,
That
just-
means like yeah, you're like if I'm a rogue, I'm still going to go after someone who doesn't have that first.
I guess.
Absolutely. That's the same class. So if I see a troll or an orc, I'm going after the troll first. If they're both, you know what I mean? They're both shamans. They're both absolutely.
But you hear warriors, like orc warriors specifically going into prot to pick this up. It kind of doesn't seem worth it to me anymore. I've heard of this. This is like a common PvP spec as an orc warrior to go into protection enough to get this hardiness talent. For 5 talent points, you're telling me it's only going to increase the stun resistance by 3%. I'm rethinking that if that's viable.
What other? I mean, think about that. What other talent in the game provides you that much? That'd be the most amazing talent in the game.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, like, come on. That's every talent in the game increases crit by 1%.
Dawkins in here,
increases
help.
this by 1%.
Dawkins, help, man.
Dawkins.
Help, Dawkins, help. What do you make of this, dude? What do you make of this, man? Do you think that the orc racial plus hardiness is how much stun resist is that, Dawkins?
All I'm saying is this, Dawkins. The base stun resistance for all classes is 15 and races is 15%.
Mm-hmm.
The tooltip says increases stun resistance by additional 25 or by additional 25%. Kargoz is adding 15 to 25 to make 40. I'm taking 25% of 15 to get a total of 18.75%. There's no way that orcs have 40% stun resistance. That is ridiculous. That's my opinion.
Damn, I sure hope they do.
Base is 20 or 25% for orc.
It's possible that the
It's-
talent is
it's
implemented
15,
in another
isn't it?
way, and the orc racial. Maybe the talent is
It's
the
just
sum, and the racial is not. Even though it's the same words, but they might just have implemented it differently. Or is it not possible?
I don't know. I'm
Right.
starting to feel like private servers had it wrong, and they pretty much added it up. Like you have this 15% chance to base. You have a 15% base chance to resist stun. They added hardiness to that, so it became 40, and then they added this warrior talent on top, and that's why it was so.
Which
busted.
is ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a big deal. That
Remember,
big
we
deal.
know their tooltips are not very clear. We've already experienced that.
Yeah.
We tested that out. And you know, spell coefficients are a perfect example. When that thing says up to 50 spell damage, that is so wrong. it's like that 50 spell damage is going to your spells, but the coefficients alter that number. There's no RNG with the gear. That doesn't exist,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing in the game that says, oh, you got 20 spell power for this frostbolt and 50 for this bolt. No, that's not what's happening. The reason it says up to is because the coefficients are different
Right.
per
Interesting.
spell.
This would be a game changer, Malderon. I actually think you underestimate potentially how many people are under a misconception potentially if this is true, because a lot of people are rolling orc.
Dude, we can test it on PTR, and we'll see if it's wrong or if it's right, and we'll see. We can test it now on our PTR and test it when Classic comes out and
Okay.
see which was
We should,
more correct.
because there are many, many thousands of people that just go, PvP orc is BIS, and it probably potentially still is BIS, you know, given what you're saying, but it's just much less powerful than I thought, man.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. We'll test it out. This is some good
We
stuff
got-
right now.
We got Ion in the chat. We got Perfect Stealth in the chat. We got Dockin in the chat. We got Chimley in the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat. So on. Yeah. So honestly, either way, it's still strong. I mean, it's still honestly like it's still to me. So the only thing, like you said, additional 15%. Like that just makes me think 15% plus 15%.
It does seem that way,
For-
right? But that's
in-
also how the
yeah.
hardiness has reads as well, too.
But
right?
think about how crazy 40% stun resistance is.
Well, it sounds awesome. It sounds
Yeah.
great. I'm gonna play
Yeah.
Orc Warrior right now, so I can literally resist stuns all day.
I understand, but think about how unbalanced that is.
Is it? I guess it is.
40 versus 15.
Yeah, that's pretty big, man. Well, it's supposed to get up to
Man,
50. Well, it's supposed to get up to 50 with the talent, man. That's the cool thing.
Here he goes. It said, apply this concept to money.
Thank you.
25% additional dollars to $20
doesn't give you $45. Thank you. Thank you.
Receive
Thank
an
you, man.
additional $5. Here's another $5. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man, dude.
That
That's
was-
a
Got
good
his
joke.
money where his mouth is.
Someone
right
clip
there.
that, dude. That's pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
That was perfect, dude.
Apply this concept
Oh,
to money.
that's great.
25%
I'm not good at the
additional
maths, man. I'm
dollars
not.
to
I'm very
$20
terrible.
Yeah, I
Wolfram
know.
Alpha got me through
$25.
college.
Quick maths. Quick
You
maths.
receive an
2 plus
additional
2 is 4,
$5.
right?
Here's another $5.
Something like
2
that.
plus 2 is 4. Anyway.
So I mean that's really cool because there's a lot of shit like this in the game that people think you know, but you don't. You know, you think you do. But
I
you
could
don't.
be 100%
Yeah.
wrong here. Orc stun resistance could be 40%. I just don't think
Either
it's-
way, what we can agree on is the tooltips in vanilla are really like confusing, and there's a
They're
lot
very
of
bad.
nuance that they. Well, it's not even that they're bad though, because like how much? What are they gonna write a
Dude.
paragraph? Like you hover over your
Yeah,
skill and then
exactly.
freaking
yeah.
like go to page 2 to see additional information about your skill. Like
so I was always told back in the day it was like, oh, if you have a green item that gives plus 33 healing, it's better than a blue item that gives 30 because it says up to 33 healing. I was told that if it's a green item that just says plus 33 healing, you're getting all of that 33. When if it's another item, you're getting whatever that dice rolls up to 33.
Well, one
Which
thing
is bullshit.